So I'm a sport presenter with almost 5 years experience on radio. I'm also a graduate of history. Good combination, right? So I've been thinking about Arsenal Football Club. They started the season very well. At the time that we thought that they were going to win the Premier League title. They can still win the Premier League title this season. But right now, Manchester City are breathing on their neck. If you check the Premier League log, Arsenal, they are ahead of Manchester City with 6 points. But they have played a game more than Manchester City. Meaning that if Man City gets to win their standing game, they will close the gap to 3 points. And Arsenal will take on Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium this Sunday. Now, Arsenal fans they're in panic mode right now. And of course, it's understandable. They should be. They are afraid of Manchester City now because this has happened before, where Arsenal start the season very well, very strongly, and then when it gets to March, gets to April, they begin to lose games, and then Manchester City will overtake them. Now they believe that could repeat itself this season, more like a deja vu for Arsenal, because I remember in 2022-2023 season, Arsenal were top of the Premier League table for a long time. And then in February, they sustained some injury problems. William Saliba got injured and was out for the rest of the season. And that was how Arsenal's season began to crumble. That was in 2023. And then they faced Manchester City. Man City spanked Arsenal 4-1 at the Emirates Stadium. I still remember that performance from Kevin De Bruyne. They overtook Arsenal. And that was how Arsenal lost the Premier League title. So Arsenal fans are also thinking that, well, maybe it will repeat itself this season. Now, but I want to say that Arsenal's performance against Bournemouth on Saturday was very, very poor, was abysmal, was listless. Now, for a team that wants to win the Premier League title, you don't put in such a performance in the running. This is the business end of the season against Bournemouth. They were so poor. It's like Bournemouth wanted the game more than Arsenal, and they got 3 points at the Emirates Stadium. I mean, if you want to win the Premier League title, you must show character right now. You must show mental strength. But for the past 4 games for Arsenal, they've been failing. They lost the final of the Carabao Cup. They were knocked out of the FA Cup. Of course, they managed to beat Sporting CP in the Champions League. And we thought that maybe they've turned the corner. Then they lost over the weekend to AFC Bournemouth. Now, if Arsenal will win the Premier League title, like I said the other time, they can still win the Premier League title, but they will need to suffer to win the title. Now, losing to Bournemouth is not good news for Arsenal. It's not a good one for Arsenal because right now, they can't afford to drop more points. And it doesn't get easier for Arsenal because their next Premier League game is away to Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. Now, a bit of history, people understand. The last time Arsenal beat City away from home in a Premier League game was in 2015, thereabout. That was in 2015 when Olivier Giroud was still playing for Arsenal. Arsenal won that game by 2-0. As a matter of fact, Arteta has never beaten Pep Guardiola away from home. Yes, he has been able to record some victories against Pep in recent times at the Emirates Stadium in cup games, but saying that you are going to the Etihad Stadium to beat Manchester City, the last time such happened was in 2015. Arsene Wenger was the Arsenal manager then, and of course, Manuel Pellegrini was in charge of Manchester City. That's a long time ago. Now, does Arsenal need to beat Manchester City on Sunday? Not necessarily. I mean, they might not win that game and still win the Premier League title, but they should do everything possible to avoid defeat. For City, it's a game that they must win because if they beat Arsenal on Sunday, of course, it will be 3 points between themselves and Arsenal, and they have a game in hand. Meaning that if they win that game, they will be on the same point with Arsenal Football Club. This is a point where Arsenal will need to stand up and be counted. Yes, it's okay to dwell in the past and say, okay, we have lost 3 games out of our last 4 matches in our competition. But if Arsenal decide to continue to think about it, I can bet with you that they are going to go trophyless this season. They don't have time to recover. They are playing against Sporting CP on Wednesday in the Champions League. People say, well, that game is done and dusted. I think that they still have a lot to play for because if they are complacent, they might as well lose the game against Sporting CP and then their morale will be so down by the time they play against Manchester City on Sunday. So they have 2 big games that they need to navigate in the space of 5-6 days. Will they be able to get over the line? Now, Manchester City are not playing the Champions League, so they are not playing any midweek game. They played yesterday against Chelsea, so they have 6 days to rest before their next game against Arsenal at the Etihad Stadium. For Arsenal, they have a game on Wednesday, so they need to think about Wednesday first before taking on Manchester City on Sunday in the blockbuster game. People have been saying that might determine who gets the Premier League title. Well, I agree with them to a large extent that might show who will win the Premier League title at the end of the season. But even after that game, they still have 4 games each. Arsenal will still play against Fulham. They are playing against Newcastle United. They are playing against Crystal Palace. These are tough games. I mean, nobody thought that they would draw points. They will even lose that game. I was even saying that, well, last season they lost 1-2 to Bournemouth. Maybe the worst Arsenal could get in that game was a draw. But they lost. So at this stage of the season, there are no easy games. For Manchester City as well, they are playing against Crystal Palace. They are playing against Bournemouth. They have a game against Everton away from home. So nothing is cast in stone. But it's just a charge for Arsenal fans. Charge for Mikel Arteta as the Arsenal manager. We are getting reports that he might be fired if he doesn't get to win any trophy for Arsenal this season. Of course, I support that because, hey, he's been the Arsenal manager since 2019. I mean, there are not so many managers who will be given that latitude of time. He has been given practically everything by the Arsenal board. Last summer, Arsenal spent excess of £200 million in bringing in players like Noni Madueke, Martin Zubimendi. They've been able to add quality and depth into the Arsenal team. So after everything, if at the end of this season he fails to win either the Premier League or the Champions League, then he might as well say, well, we need a manager who will take us to the next level. But right now, this is second week of April. This is the business end of the season. Arsenal have got a lot to play for. Like I said the other time, they have 2 options. It's either because they are done right now, it's either they stand up and fight. If they stand up and fight, they can still win the Premier League title, or they sit and then they go trophyless. They have 2 options, and I don't think at this stage of the season they need anybody to motivate them. The last time they won the Premier League title was in 2004, 22 years ago. That's a long time ago. They've not won the Champions League trophy before, so they still have a lot to play for. But again, they need to change their mentality. They need to fight. Playing at the Etihad Stadium on Sunday will be very tough. We will know if they will get to win the Premier League title or not. Arsenal fans are done. Yes, it is okay to be done. I'm very sure Arteta will be telling his boys right now, what can we do? We need to stand up and fight for the remaining few weeks of the season. Just imagine, you started the season in August. This is April, and next month the season will be over. This is the most crucial part of the season. If Arsenal fail to turn up, they will have undone whatever they've started at the start of the season, and of course that will not be good for them. But again, will Arsenal be able to get over the line? Only time will tell. Like, share, comment, and of course we'll be very happy to hear from you. We need the engagement, we need the comments, we need the likes. Please make sure you do everything. Thank you.